Welcome to the Daily Allegory through Astrological Divination. Today's video is the Shadow's Whisper, Sun's Decree. Today is going to follow the theme of multitude of planetary energies using to target other planets, nature, and core roots. Today we have the moon phase being used and weaponized against the sun's, meaning a weird energy. It's like somebody did something on the full moon and set an intention on the new moon and is trying to use the waxing crescent today to target the sun energy. The stars decree, the covenant demands, in whispers we govern, through the elements we obscure, in static we command, in nightmares we pursue. We are earth and air, we are fire and water, we are the remembered, we are the returned, we are the whispers, in silence we thrive. With the sun square Jupiter, we have what's called the crescent's call, a sunlit manifestation. Now, it reframes the astrological tension into a purposeful path for growth and manifestation, particularly regarding one's work, service, health, and daily routines. Backtracking to my earlier statement where one is attempting to utilize lunar magic to attack the solar energy, this is going to have a 180 effect, whereas instead of it being in detriment or square, it is going to oppose and act sextile and or trinal. Now, when we try to use dark practitioners in this specific context, I'm going to use it for a scope of visualization. We can see sad attempts to alter these energies to a lesser energy where one's work and finances might suffer, their service might not be sought out, their health would take a decline, and the routines would be relatively interrupted. But being able to see these attacks coming through the stars, one can redirect these energies at other people, places, and things, especially those involved, their immediate families, their friends, or their children if others are attacking people's children through any celestial body's energies. That is a divine violation of divine order and law. Now, this is going to redirect these energies back at the participants' families, their finances, and it's going to create a total severing of their connections and their network without even blinking an eye. This is where the only way to remove this curse would be by calling back the magic and directing it directly at those who requested it and their family, kind of leaving you a little bit of wiggle room to escape, but scapegoat the initial problem. This is where somebody set other people up for shit they didn't sign up for. This is a window of opportunity, we would call this. Now, this is going to be a sealed fate, though, when this happens, and it's going to be a complete and total stonewall by Medusa herself. Now, the challenge. You're going to feel an inflated sense of optimism and confidence, which can lead to overpromising, overestimation, and basically biting off more than you can chew. In other words, people that write checks that their ass really can't cash, and owing more than your life's worth. It's kind of like if somebody has litigation against an entire city that has a number behind it that's so substantial it would bankrupt the city entirely. Now, this can manifest as ego-driven ambition that lacks grounding, where utilized properly, this is going to lead to an opportunity. Now, the tension is not purely negative here. It's rather unfazed, but it's a creative friction that can be used for a purposeful growth collectively. But by consciously navigating this energy, you can channel your confidence and courage to achieve significant milestones and expand your horizons or self-sabotaging on the ladder. Now, with expansion through services, Jupiter's presence here leads you to likely feel a strong urge to help other people, take on more responsibilities, or improve your own work or work ethic. This can lead to a significant growth in career related to healing, teaching, and overall wellness. Legitimate healing, teaching, and overall wellness. Not a mask and a facade where this is our front, but truly we're half in a bag. Now, this is going to create daily life challenges. Though with the expansive nature of Jupiter in this house, it's going to lead to an overextension and burnout if it's not managed carefully. You may take on way too many projects and neglect your own well-being for the sake of others, or experience disappointment when reality checks clash with your optimistic expectations. Now, a metaphorical interpretation with this being the crescent's call a sunlit manifestation, this phrase reframes the internal conflict between Sun and Jupiter square in the 6th house as a deliberate path to manifestation. It's not just a wish on a star and hope for the best. This is active internal alchemization, channeling these energies, drawing them from above, bringing them to the root, into the ground, and seeding that, and letting nature water that and watch those plants sprout. Now, the crescent's call here, being the crescent moon, symbolizes new beginnings, setting intentions, and the initial phase of growth. Its call here is going to represent the inner intuitive urge to expand and take on bigger projects. Jupiter. Now, this is the starting point, the moment you feel called to pursue something greater in your daily life or work. Now, a sunlit manifestation is going to enter the picture to provide the conscious will and identity with the sun. Now, the phrase suggests that by deliberately channeling your ego and confidence through the sun, you can direct Jupiter's expansive power in a very hyper-focused way. This is not about passive luck, but about actively applying your will to your daily responsibilities to create tangible positive effects. The manifestation is sunlit because it is a deliberate and conscious process illuminated by your self-awareness. And it is imperative to have self-awareness. With a practical application through physical and or metaphysical high ceremonial magic or ritualistic actions embodied or visualized, this is where we're going to leverage this astrological signature, not to be confused with the handwritten signature, which we need to make sure we aren't out here forging other people's names on documents. That's a whole ass felony, just so you know. Forensics can identify certain patterns in people's signature, like mine. I am sure at some point somebody tried to replicate my signature, which was a mistake, because I intentionally overemphasize a certain part of my signature, whereas only my hand would be able to do that. And that would be very clear to trained professionals. So don't do these things. That's illegal. You can start by acknowledging this tension. When you feel the internal conflict between your ambitions and the day-to-day realities of your work, recognize it as an activation of this aspect. This is when we embody this energy, we feel it. We don't just see it and we want it, we embody it. That's where the energy truly comes from. This is where we're going to have a focus on intentional routines. Use your daily habits and service to others as the primary vehicle for growth. Do unto others as you would do to yourself. So if you're out here FAFO with other people, I can only imagine how the universe is going to conspire for your highest good to return that energy in the way you need learned. Now, don't wait for a grand external stroke of luck. Rather, build opportunities for expansion into your existing work and service. It's like if you bake bread, learn to do it better. If you make pictures, learn to take them better. If you scam people, definitely don't learn to scam people better. Stick to your manual or handprint. I'm sure the blueprint is working out fantastic for any pyramid scheme that you might be actively participating in. Now, we can harness confidence deliberately. Use the confidence boost from Jupiter to take calculated, meaningful risks that align with your deepest values. Rather than becoming overconfident or cocky, feeding into our shadows, values, this sometimes can lead us astray. So astray that we end up at the bottom of a Ponzi. You get crushed by the top. I'm going to emphasize top in a diamond tier sense. We need to balance our well-being. It's a priority right now. Take care of yourself. Now, by consciously managing your energy to prevent... I'm making myself laugh. I'm having a whole episode in my head. Don't mind me. Might be schizophrenia that's not diagnosed ever by any doctor ever that, ever existed. Despite the narrative, We become sustainable, well-structured, and this growth is key to managing this aspect. So prioritize your health and well-being as the engine for your larger ambitions. Now, the Sun square Pluto is going to be from subconscious seed to solar bloom. This reframes the intense, often difficult psychological tension of this aspect into a powerful process of transformation and public achievement. The challenge here in this placement can manifest as power struggles, particularly with authority figures. Don't commit felonies. You won't have problems with authorities. Don't feed fish sticks to a seagull. That can be illegal. I'm just kidding. Feed the birds. Just don't be a bird of a feather. Because they flock together. And it only takes one to knock them all down. Now, whether you're friends with the police, sleeping with the police, bribing the police, or just a regular citizen, or high-value asset, you may experience a compulsive need to control situations or feel controlled by others. This is deep-seated psychological complexities here, often linked to childhood trauma or difficult relationships with a father figure, which can fuel intense ambitions or fear of exposure. Or this is something that was groomed to you as a child, and these are things you learned, and you're just continuing a cycle that probably should have been broken, and your ancestors probably warned you, and the card readings probably told you, and other people probably, the red flags were there, but you wanted to be the bull and go to the top only to jump off the damn cliff. Hopefully not with a whole group of people with you, because I can't imagine going over the edge, following somebody that might be checked out. I mean, you'll be fine as long as you weren't out here doing the most to steal, conspire to murder, sacrifice for a seat of power or fame, or collaborating to harass and stalk someone, creating a lot of noise, we'll call it, to try to drive someone crazy to validate a lie that we may or may not have told in order to fabricate evidence that needed validation. Like a DSM-5, where we have a doctor signing off on things to mess with people's identities, backgrounds, records. That's a whole other world of problems. Now, the opportunity here with this aspect and placement. This comes with the pressure from the square, which is a catalyst for profound personal evolution. By facing and integrating your shadow self, you can develop incredible inner strength and willpower. The transformative nature of Pluto forces you to shed old habits and identities that no longer serve you or your growth, leading to a profound resurrection and rebirth of the self. In the 10th house, we have ambition and power. The square aspect directs the intense energy of the Sun, Pluto in the 10th, indicating that your career and public life will be a focal point for transformation, whether it's a trine or in detriment to. Now, you have a powerful drive for success and a magnetic presence that can command authority. And authority always respects the inevitable, especially when the power comes from sustainable existence. Now, being inevitable is definitely one way to do so, leading to public struggle. The path to professional achievement may be fraught with power struggles, conflicts with authority, and periods of radical change, as long as it's not radical leftist agendas and detriments to people's freedoms and societies and communities and targeting large groups of people. That's domestic terrorism. Don't do that. Now, You may face periods of career crisis where your public image is broken down, only to be rebuilt in a more powerful and authentic expression of your true identity. Now, these are the key points in life that will make or break you. This is where from subconscious seed to solar bloom occurs. Now, the phrase describes the inner journey and outward manifestation of this powerful aspect. The subconscious seed represents the buried psychological material, the unresolved trauma, the hidden motivation, and deep-seated fears that Pluto governs. Now, this powerful latent potential for transformation resides in the depths of the psyche, germinating in the darkness. Now, this is a seed that you're unaware of that's been growing in the background. And the background is where all the magic happens. Keep that in mind, especially when that curtain comes up for a surprise. Now, it is the unconscious desire for power and control that often drives your ambition. The solar bloom, represented by the conscious manifestation of the sunlight in the 10th house, as you face and integrate your subconscious seeds, they don't corrupt you, but instead fuel your conscious growth. These are things that are conducive to genesis, creation, progress, not self-destruction, sabotage, involving a world in a realm of horror, terror, and insidious acts. That's nowhere near conscious growth. That is active sabotage. Now, the intense inner work of the Sun-Pluto square allows you to deliberately and authentically bloom in the public's eye. The result is not just a successful career, but embodiment of personal power that has been earned through deep self-mastery. Now, the journey to transformation suggests a cyclical process here. Confrontation is going to be number one. By triggering events in your career or public life, it forces you to face the buried subconscious material. This is our seed. 2 is going to be transmutation. Through conscious effort, you engage in the deep self-reflection and inner work, transforming the pain and power struggles into a source of personal power, where a process of the seed breaks open in the darkness and begins to bloom. Then we have illumination as the third and final step. The integration of this subconscious material empowers your conscious identity, allowing you to project a more potent, authentic version of yourself. Your career and your public image become a living testament to your personal transformation. We've got the Sun opposition Chiron as the eclipse of self-doubt, calling back your power, or as I'll invoke for us, calling back our power. Now, this aspect points to a deep-seated feeling of inadequacy and unworthiness, which can be healed by consciously reclaiming your sense of self and purpose. The aspect here is opposition placing the Sun. This is representing the ego, your identity, and your life force. It's like when people are trying to use lunar magic to draw upon your life force because they know your manifestation capabilities, and unfortunately awoken your memory to those capabilities. And, well, now we're going to reverse that actively. And Chiron, again, the wounded healer, representing your deepest wounds and healing potential. Now, in a tense 180-degree relationship, this is going to be across the zodiac all the way. Now, the challenge in this placement can create an inner tug-of-war, if you will, where your core identity feels fundamentally flawed. You may feel a deep-seated lack of confidence, often experiencing core wounds of abandonment, rejection, or unworthiness in your earliest experiences. These are people that aren't aware of the attacks going on through lunar powers into the solar identity. These are people that are just beginning their journey, so they're easily influenced by energetic manipulation until they wake up and they send all of that energy back at once. Now, the paradox here, this is being the fact that the pain you feel about your perceived flaws, which can also become the source of your greatest strength. Through your healing journey, you're going to gain deep compassion and wisdom by becoming an effective healer or teacher for others who share a similar wound, if you will. Now, the eclipse of self-doubt. An eclipse occurs when one celestial body, normally the moon, temporarily blocks the light of another, being the sun, creating a moment of darkness, if you will. Now, the metaphor maps to the Sun-Chiron opposition in a powerful way. The sun, which is your conscious self, your ego and your sense of purpose, your drive, who you are, what you are. The moon shadow, in this case, the shadow that falls across your sun, it's not the moon, but the psychological pain and trauma represented by Chiron or projected through Chiron. The shadow temporarily blocks your light, making you feel unworthy, ineffective, unwanted, and just a burden around. The eclipse, being the eclipse of self-doubt, is the moment of crisis when your core wound is triggered and the light of your ego is momentarily obscured. This is often a painful but necessary period of reckoning. Now, in calling back our power, which we are doing, following an eclipse, the sun's light returns, and it has returned. The part of the phrase is about consciously re-engaging your inner light after confronting the chironic wound. Through conscious awareness, by bringing your wounds into the light of your consciousness, the sun, you stop being a victim of your past and begin to reclaim your power. You acknowledge the wound, but no longer allow it to define you or hold you back. With empowerment through healing, you no longer seek external validation to soothe your insecurities. Instead, you integrate the pain into your identity and discover that your authenticity lies not in being perfect, but in the lessons learned through your struggles and your imperfect, unique niches, if you will. Now, the wounded healer here then emerges. You transform your wound into a gift. The vulnerability you once hid becomes a source of empathy and wisdom, and you use your personal experience to help and inspire other people. This is the journey of transformation. This begins with this interpretation, as I've been explaining, suggesting a very specific multi-stage process for navigating the Sun-Chiron opposition. When we encounter the darkness, we can recognize the moments when our deepest insecurities are triggered. Instead of running from them, we face them head on. Then we begin to illuminate this wound. We use the conscious light of the sun to understand the source of the pain. This may involve introspection, journaling, and sometimes working with therapists for those who are too afraid to go within initially and can't venture that path alone. When we integrate and accept that the wound is a part of your story, but it does not have to be your entire identity, your power comes from what you've learned, not from an absence of pain. This is where we progress and move away from the past. Leave it there. Now, this then allows us to shine with purpose. Your healed self emerges more compassionate and authentic than before. You can then use your experience to help others, turning your personal eclipse into a beacon of light for other people, rather than being some psychopathic lunatic sitting in the dark, scrolling through your phone, monitoring other people, trying to concoct new avenues in which we can dampen that light or turn it out entirely, or siphon that light, or do some kind of weird maneuver where we're just trying to attack other people's lights because we ourselves have no light at all. That's strange. Get a hobby. Now, with the numbers and numerology, I had some an angel and a demon come through with this one. I have the numbers 14 and 3, which equals 143, which translates universally to I love you. So I have the conscious crescent manifesting with the sun's fire, with the 14th angel of the Shemham Farash, Mebehel. Now, this interpretation links the lore of the Shemham Farash, angel Mebehel, to a personal process of conscious manifestation. By combining Mebehel's attributes of justice and truth with concepts of of the conscious crescent, meaning the lunar phase, that was initially sent to attack and be in detriment to our sun identity, and the sun's fire, a narrative is created about intentionally aligning one's path with divine order to bring intentions into reality. Now, the foundation of the angel Mebehel, the name means God the protector and savior, or God the preserver. His key virtues, Mebehel is associated with truth, justice, liberty, and commitment. A lot of concepts some people just are very unfamiliar with. This angel guides the oppressed towards liberation, helps discern truth from falsehoods, and protects against manipulation and injustices. Don't confuse getting away with it and just being allowed to run into a wall harder. That's dangerous for your own well-being and everyone around you, I would assume. Now, his healing aspect is said to help restore harmony and show us how we have bound ourselves through limiting beliefs, aligning us with our true soul path. And finally, his alignment with divine law, which supersedes physical and natural law. It's divine order. Now, Mebehel is fundamentally concerned with the establishment and restoration of divine law and order. In a metaphorical context, the conscious crescent manifesting with the sun's fire reimagines Mebehel's influence as a guide for deliberate ethical manifestation. And I cannot emphasize that word enough, ethical manifestation in that statement. Ethical. Not sucking on somebody else's capabilities or potential or opportunities. Ethically source your own. Now, the conscious crescent here is the element that represents the conscious act of setting an intention akin to the crescent moon's phase of new beginnings. With setting the intention, when you form a new intention or wish to manifest a new reality, you are in the crescent phase, the beginning of a new cycle. Now, under Mebehel's guidance, Mebehel's role is to ensure that this intention is ethical and aligned with higher truth. It is the angel's call to ensure your desires are pure, just, and for the highest good of all involved, not just the self. Now, the angel helps you discern if your goals are driven by ego or genuine altruistic commitments, thus clearing limited beliefs here. The crescent also alludes to the waxing moon representing growth. Mebehel helps clear the limited beliefs and illusions represented by the Eight of Swords in Tarot, which the angel is associated with. This typically restricts your progress, but in this case, we are reversing these energies and redirecting them. We then begin to manifest with the sun's fire. This element represents the active, powerful stage of bringing an intention into reality through purposeful action. The sun's fire, which is the sun's energy, represents your conscious will, ego, and life force, as stated previously. Now, manifesting with the sun's fire is about actively using your personal power to make your intentions a reality. With the fire of justice here, Mebehel infuses this process with the fire of righteousness and justice. Now, the righteous, more often than not, take a long time to come through because they got to barrel through all of these walls and multitude of complexities with the morons that think all their back-end deals are sustainable. Sustainability only comes through balance, and there is no balance in unjust actions and weird deals. I'm not opposed to making side deals for certain things, but there are certain boundaries that should not be crossed. This is where you end up on the cross, where we don't crucify other people for our misdeeds, utilizing them as a scapegoat. That could be problematic if people are unsuccessful in eliminating such a thing. Then we have a black swan event, and that could be rather dangerous for a lot of people. Now, your manifestation is not simply for personal gain, but for the restoration of harmony and divine order in your life and world. which ultimately leads to a greater good or outcome that helps many, many people, not just one. Now, with purposeful action, guided by Mebehel, you are inspired to take right and committed actions. This isn't just about wishing upon a star, it's about acting with integrity and passion. Your conscious intent, being the crescent, is fueled by Mebehel's protective and righteous energy, which is the sun's fire, ensuring the manifested outcome is both powerful and ethically sourced. Now, in practice here, the Lord suggests a personal, magical narrative for navigating manifestation. When we acknowledge the desire, you feel the first glimmer of a new desire. This is the crescent's call. We then invoke Mebehel, and we have, calling upon the angel Mebehel to ensure your intention is just and true, asking for guidance to see any hidden, self-imposed limitations. We then purify these intentions. Through introspection, you align your desire with a higher purpose, releasing any need for ego-driven power struggles or control. Then take conscious action. I'm guilty of that. I have a need to know, even when I know, and I shouldn't know, I still have a need to just be validated because I'm human. I think. I might be alien, who knows? Now, fueled by the angel's righteous energy and our own will. That wasn't a crazy statement. I have a really messed up sense of humor. Don't let it go over your head. It probably did, but definitely don't let it go over your head. Now, the righteous energy in our own will is going to be the sun's fire. We act decisively and ethically to bring your intention to fruition, thus manifesting justice. The final manifestation is not just a personal victory, but a restoration of harmony and truth in your reality, demonstrating that commitment to a just cause is a path to liberation and abundance through the God, not your God, not you, just you in the back. Now, not you, that way. Now, with the number 3 through the sun, with the misappropriated lunar energy, thinking that's not seen in the astrology wheel, I have the Architect of Light, a waxing crescent manifestation, the third spirit of Solomon, Visago. With this ward, we'll combine the occult figure Visago with the principle of manifestation and lunar magic here, channeling those energies as a lightning rod alchemist, redirecting, flowing with harmonic resonance in our octangular field. Now, here it reinterprets Visago's abilities, typically associated with revealing hidden things and foretelling the future, as tools for structured, intentional, and illuminating process of conscious creation, symbolized by the Architect of Light here and the waxing crescent moon phase. Now, keep in mind, this is the Solomonic path, not to be confused with a satanic narrative some spin to hide their own true demonic nature, but the beings, when used under the light of God, hold unprecedented power for personal transformation and growth and service delivery to the collective as a whole, not a singular. Now, the foundation, the spirit Visago here, according to the Lesser Keys of Solomon, Visago is a mighty prince of hell, known for his good nature, in contrast to many other spirits. Now, his abilities primarily are to declare things past and to come, and to discover all things hidden or lost. It's like a spiritual discovery of things you should not know, but be knowing, and give a window of opportunity for people to fix things they might have wronged. Now, whether it be stolen money, houses, cars, identities, trust funds, freedom, whatever it may be, all things hidden come to light then, or get published in the news. It can become a whole ordeal. Now, his nature is known for being truthful and just in his dealings with those who summon him. So he doesn't deliver false information. He delivers true, authentic information. Now, metaphorically speaking, The phrase alone transforms the traditional view of Visago from a spirit of divination into a guiding force for a deliberate and methodical approach to manifestation. The architect of light here, the title specifically reframes Visago's role. Instead of simply revealing what is already determined, he helps you consciously construct your desired reality, essentially altering the natural laws of reality, creating your own laws of physics, and manipulating the very fabric of existence. Now, the architect is a creator who meticulously plans and designs, reflecting the methodical nature of intentional manifestation. The light here symbolizes the illuminating knowledge that Visago provides. His ability to discover hidden things is reinterpreted as shedding light on hidden truths, potential obstacles, and there will be many, or latent resources within yourself and your situation. Now, resources sometimes can just be comprehensive knowledge of certain things, events, and transpirations of agendas. Now, the knowledge is not passive information. It is raw material evidence which you can build your future with. It's like reading the last chapter of a book before it's even read. Now, with a waxing crescent manifestation, the waxing crescent lunar phase represents growth, intentional action, and building momentum after a stillness of the new moon. It is the perfect time to take initial active steps towards your goals. Now, the process here in this lore suggests a ritualistic step-by-step manifestation process guided by Visago's insight. Through conscious intention, just as you set intentions on the new moon, you consciously decide what you want to manifest. We seek Visago's guidance. You invoke Visago or his interpretive energy to gain clarity. His foreknowledge of things past and to come helps you understand the energetic past that led to your present situation and reveals the most promising path forward, even if it doesn't look so bright. His ability to fight lost things helps you recover forgotten resources or talents. So when that pivotal point or capitulation hits, we at that point get back what was wrongfully taken or stolen, which at this point only acts as a tool for growth, seeing as we would be in a relatively comfortable standing in life by then. So it's like, say somebody stole a ton of money off you or attempted to, or use you as a cash cow and a scapegoat. By the time somebody would recover those things, they wouldn't even need it because they're relatively comfortable and happy in life where they're at currently. Now, with informed action, mind you, some people can be incredibly unreliable and just lost in the sauce. So that's very unrealistic considering the narratives for some people. Now, with informed action, we are empowered with this clear vision and newfound knowledge. You move forward with the growing energy of the waxing crescent. Your actions are deliberate, informed, and aligned with the plan revealed by the architect of light. And oh, the things we know and see. Or see and know. Now, this then enables us to begin building and refining. As your manifestations gain momentum, you continue to receive guidance, refining your approach and adjusting as needed. This aligns your crescent's slow but steady growth forward towards the full moon. Now, the journey of manifestation is a potent narrative for those who want to approach manifestation not as a passive wish, but as a deliberate and informed process, and trust and believe we are all fully informed at this point. It suggests a collaborative relationship with spirit known for clarity and truth, helping you move from the darkness of the unknown into the light of conscious creation. By working with Visago's energy, you become the architect of your own destiny. So if there was a swap attempt, you take back that power and you now hold the key to your fate. It's revealed to use the desired result that you want. It's a cosmic key, if you will, a step-by-step during the growing light of the waxing crescent moon. That's all I have for you guys for today. I know it's another long one. Hopefully you found it entertaining. Don't be out here committing felonies. Make good choices on these lunar energies. And don't be directing them at other people because that's going to be immediately snap back. I'll see ya.